Hello, this is Frank Jernigan, and you are welcome to join us for the Phrancko Sweater Knitters meeting. We meet every week at 2:30 Pacific time. Um, and if you're a knitter, we would love to have you join us and chat with us and give us some more tips or listen to our tips and see what we're all up to and share your work as well. Hello, Mary.
Hello.
Hi, Joellen.
Hey.
Hi, Wally.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Maggie. You're muted, Maggie.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Ron.
Hello.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Frank.
How's everyone doing?
We're good, thank you.
Recovering.
We're good.
Recovering from eating too
Thanks.
much?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the American pastime this weekend.
Yeah.
That's it.
And shopping.
And
Yes.
shopping. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
a lot of sales going on.
Oh, okay.
Friday after Thanksgiving is known as Black Friday, and there's
Yeah.
just sales everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's spreading. So now it's usually all weekend there are sales. And then
Well, they
Monday is
started
called
like
Monday is
Yeah.
called Cyber Monday, and there
Yeah.
are sales on the web. So
Today
it's an
is Small
exciting time for
Business
shopping.
Saturday.
And
Yeah.
what,
Today
Ron?
it's
Today is Small Business Saturday.
Yeah.
Aha.
yeah. Okay.
So
So
that's
what do you typically eat then for Thanksgiving?
All together. Turkey.
Turkey.
Oh, okay.
Mashed potatoes, gravy,
Stuffing.
rolls.
Stuffing, cranberry
Green
sauce.
pie.
Roasted
Oh
vegetables.
yes, pumpkin pie. We had
Yeah.
pecan pie too.
Yeah. And I made lemon meringue.
Oh,
Oh, that sounds good.
lovely.
I made sweet potato pies.
There you go.
Mm. I did
Very
deviled
good.
eggs and homemade rolls.
Yeah.
And I cooked pozole rather than turkey. But
What is
And I took
pozole?
cheese and crackers.
pozole is a Mexican stew made of pork shoulder, generally, red chilies, and hominy.
Hominy, yeah.
Oh, how interesting.
I like hominy.
It's delicious.
Is it real spicy?
No.
No?
It'd be up
I
to you.
use-
If you like it spicy, you can make it spicy.
You
Yeah.
can. I used mild chilies just because I didn't know how the people coming over would react. So, but I roasted all the chilies and then pureed them and then strained the puree.
All right.
It's
Oh
a whole
wow,
production.
big
But I
job.
made like literally 8 gallons,
Oh, God.
like 32 quart col
What'd you serve with it?
tostadas, beans, radishes, limes, cabbage,
Normal stuff.
cilantro.
Sounds yummy. Yep.
Sounds very good.
Yep.
Hmm.
I was mainly raised in San Antonio, Texas, and all those Mexican dishes are delicious to me.
Mm.
So now December is coming up, so we're getting into tamale season.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
You can't swing a cat without hitting a tamale.
So have you done anything special in the shop then for Small Business Saturday?
Yeah, we have some special yarns out. We sort of collected all of the discontinued colorways and put them in a big pile with a sale. Just because you do something with all these discontinued colorways. So getting them all out where people can riffle through them.
Yeah.
Is fun. And then you got some giveaways and things like that.
Oh.
But otherwise, my life is back to normal. Phew.
Well, that's
Yay.
good.
Yeah, because you did two big shows back to back, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I sure
I was
did.
gonna gonna say define normal because I bet you none of us have the same day planner.
Well, I guess my life as regularly scheduled.
I was watching television and all of a sudden somebody I know popped up on the screen. And it was a
Oh, wow.
cameo by Mr. Phrancko.
Ooh,
Oh,
Do you remember doing that?
Was it 60 Minutes?
It was similar. It was a show on building disasters, things that
Well,
had gone wrong with buildings.
I know what the subject was.
Yes.
We did several interviews about living in the leaning and sinking Millennium
Yes.
Tower.
Oh my gosh, it looks so beautiful. It was a beautiful
It
apartment
was
of what I
gorgeous.
saw.
It was. I mean, I
And
guess
your
it still
view was out
is.
of this world.
Where was it?
It's in San Francisco, and
Oh,
it was world famous tragic
oh,
disaster. I mean, no, that's wrong. It's not a disaster yet. We moved out because we were afraid it will become a disaster someday.
oh.
I think
But
that's wise.
but they have worked on a fix, and maybe it's getting fixed. I don't know. I don't have any comment about its current status.
Yeah.
But at the time, we were told that it was sinking beyond what it was supposed to over the life of the building.
mm.
And it was also tilting, and the tilt was getting worse every year as it sunk deeper.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Worry me.
Yeah.
and so there was a point at which Andrew, my husband, brought home a marble that a friend gave him and said, "Why don't you roll this across the floor and see if you can see the tilt by how it rolls?" So I pulled out my camera and I videoed him rolling it toward me, and it rolled to a stop and turned around and rolled back in the opposite direction and picked up speed as it passed by where it started.
Oh, wow.
And I posted that video online, and the next day we started getting calls from news organizations, first all over the state, then all over the country. And within a year, we were getting calls from all over the world, from
Mm.
oh
Netherlands,
gosh.
Germany. And it turns out that video illustrated the lean better than any other way people had to see it, because it was
Yeah.
only leaning like 16 to 20 inches over a 600-foot building. So you couldn't look up at it and say, "Oh, it's leaning." You couldn't see
Yeah.
it.
And
So
you couldn't feel it, I guess, as you walked. You
you
couldn't
couldn't
tell.
feel it. You couldn't see
Yeah.
it. There were cracks in the sidewalk, so lots of news stories showed cracks in the sidewalk. But other than that, they didn't have any way of visualizing it until our video came along, and it became very popular
Mm.
for news broadcasts. And we didn't make any money off of it. We didn't try to sell it. I guess we should have now in hindsight, but we didn't. We just made it open to the public domain. And so it got passed around, and a year later we got a call from 60 Minutes, and they said, "We understand you made that video of the marble." And we said, "Yes. Well, we'd like to come and interview you about why you did that and what has happened." And do it in conjunction with a story about the Millennium Tower leaning and sinking. So
Oh,
they did.
wow.
They sent a news crew out, and they interviewed Andrew and me. And the reason I guessed that that's what you saw is because they seem to show that interview repeatedly every year or so. They go back to it. But I guess you might have seen that, or you might have seen it that somebody borrowed it for another broadcast. I don't know.
It was on a show, and they were showing other things that, different people, things that were incorrecto. And
Uh-huh.
it was funny. I wasn't expecting you because I didn't, see anything that said you were going to be on there. And I heard that voice, and I looked up, and that was like seeing a movie star. It was like, I talked to him all the time.
Yeah, that was our 15 minutes of fame.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep.
How tall is the building?
Yeah.
600 feet or so.
So how many stories?
Um, uh, it's actually
Bunch.
58,
Oh,
though
Oh my
wow.
God.
the top story is numbered 60, but there is
Oh.
no 13th floor, or I think it's the 44th floor. There's no
Mhm.
44.
Well, that picture
And
that showed,
that's because there are people who are suspicious about those numbers and
Oh.
don't want to
Mm.
live on that floor. So they just skip
that
those on the elevator.
they showed your view, and we were looking over the clouds.
Yes,
Oh
That was
boy.
amazing.
that happened.
Amazing.
We lived there for 6 years, and that happened several times. And I used to go
Wow.
take a bunch of pictures looking down on the clouds from our building.
Yeah.
So which
wow.
what level did you live on?
We lived on the 50th floor.
Oh,
boy.
wow. And what floor are you on now?
Four.
Yeah. All right.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's one of the unlucky ones.
Right. It's the unlucky one. That's right.
Never heard of four being unlucky.
Yeah, what's wrong with four?
In the sinosphere, the word for four is often a homophone for the word for death.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
So places influenced by Chinese culture avoid the number four as portentous.
And a lot of Chinese people bought into the building. And I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
they did it for the Chinese population. I never heard that explanation before, though, or
Mm.
I just heard that it was because it was that Chinese people had a
Yeah, it's because the number four sounds like the word for death.
Mm.
I'd do it.
Shit.
Where do you live? Death's door. Oh, I think I'd move.
yeah. Uh,
Well, if anybody wants to hear it, I have a little story to tell, of course, on
oh,
my little
sure.
vest here. It's a Phrancko design of a V-neck that I made into a vest, and it's for my
Oh,
little
Oh, how
grandson.
nice.
nice.
And it's just as soft as it can be. And I was so proud I had it done, ready to roll. And it turned out a little bit short. And I kind of felt like it was the bottom. And I only had like a 2-inch ribbing. So, you can't make them not pull on it. So I said, well, leave it and I'll put that on there. And there's also, I put a ladybug usually on his button on his stuff, and I hadn't done that yet either. But I thought, well, he's gonna, feel bad. I gave him his little birthday present, and I'm not gonna be able to take it and wear it. But with Kathy's Sweet Meadow Knits subscription box, she puts all her stuff in pretty tissue paper and a pretty ribbon. So I'd use that tissue paper and the ribbon, and then I cut out a little reindeer off of a Christmas card and made that his card and stuck it on there and gave it to him. So he put that ribbon with the little reindeer right here on like a crown and was perfectly happy with that. I should have just given him that. A lot less work.
Mhm.
Well, I'm happy to say I finished my sweater finally
Yay.
Yay.
after having to redo one of the sleeves completely.
You know how
Um,
we feel.
Yeah.
let's see. I think I have a picture of it here somewhere. Where'd that go? Let me try again.
Step off just for a minute. I got to take this sweater off. I'm too warm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was ready for the snow, but evidently that's not happening.
There it is.
Oh,
That's
Oh.
nice. Very nice.
it turned out
Yes.
so good,
nice.
Frank.
Hmm.
Very good.
It fits extremely well. I'm very happy with how it fits.
Mhm.
What happened with the sleeve? I've been
Oh, good.
absent.
What happened to the sleeve? What do you mean?
Didn't you say you had
Oh,
to
do you
remake
want
the
do you want
sleeve?
one of us to
Oh,
tell the story?
last week 2 weeks ago, I said, "Oh, well, I'm almost finished with this first sleeve and I'll be done with the second one next week." And then last week I came back and said, I knitted the entire sleeve using the wrong size needle. I used the size that I had just used on the ribbing at the base of the body. And so I had to rip out the entire sleeve and do it again. So it wasn't done last week, but I did finish it this week. I got the second sleeve done.
Oh, like life.
It's worth it. It is beautiful.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Well, I
Very
agree
Yeah,
too.
lovely.
I'm very happy with that one. I think that's my favorite yoke so far. And now I have some free time for the first time in a long time to work on anything I want.
Wow.
And I've been dying to try out Ron's idea of doing the uh, um, what's it called? The lice stitch
Oh,
using Jacquard on the back to hold the yarn. Even on rows that do not have a pattern. And let me show you the result of that experiment. So here,
Oh, that's
Oh, how
pretty.
nice.
isn't that
mhm.
beautiful? It worked
Yeah.
really
It
well.
is really
Uh-huh.
nice.
And eh, um, and so here is the back
Oh, wow. Look at
using
that.
jacquard.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
And see, it is perfectly held against the back, even
Right.
though 3 rows out of 4 are not attached to the front at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was concerned about that if I incorporated this into a sweater, say across the sleeve cap. What would I do if I had a pattern across the front and then I couldn't carry the yarns across the back on 3 of the 4 rows? And Ron had the idea, we'll use Ladderback Jacquard. So that's how it looks.
Yeah.
And it
Oh,
worked
nice.
well. Thanks for the
Hmm.
suggestion, Ron. I might do that soon.
It looks great.
It also
And I
studies
sure.
up
So
that
that'll
shoulder
keep
a bit.
so
And
that
one
will
of the
keep your tension all even and everything, right?
What's that?
That will keep your tension all even and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
lovely.
One of
Mhm.
the potential issues you could have with like a set-a-stall style, it has a lot of stranded work in one part of the yoke, bodice, whatever, and then lice for the rest of it. The tension can be very, very different on
Mhm.
the lice because it's only 1 row out of every 4, and
Right.
um, so pulling and the fabric having different like characteristics in movement is kind of a potential thing to be aware of, having some way to solve that issue in the first place. But I think that should hold it in place with the rest of the stranding and have a nice like fabric that has um, an even structure between those two types of stitch patterns.
Exactly.
And it's just kind of a fun technique.
It is. I really enjoy doing it and I
and
like the result.
yeah,
I'm surprised it's not more popular than it is.
yeah, and I
And
think it's because it had, as far as I understand it, its origin in machine knitting,
uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it
and
did. Mhm.
and I don't know if it just hasn't caught on as much as it could have in the problems that it could potentially solve for you in hand knitting. Um, because other techniques that do similar kinds of things, like is it easier to do an intarsia piece and seam it versus a big motif and then letters it back around? I don't know, but it's neat and it's really fulfilling, I think, to like you get that far and then you look at the back of the fabric and it's just kind of cool, and you stretch it, and I don't know, that's what I do. I think it's neat.
So while I'm mentioning it, I'll mention that I have a playlist on how to do the Ladderback Jacquard in my, is it a playlist or just a single video? I can't remember. Anyway, in my YouTube channel, Knitting by Phrancko, if anybody wants to see how to do Ladderback Jacquard, go to YouTube and go to my channel, Knitting by Phrancko. Make sure you spell Phrancko correctly. And search for Ladderback Jacquard, and you'll find the tutorial on how to do it.
I have a show and tell.
Oh, wait, just one
Okay.
second.
Okay.
One more thing, I forgot. I wrote an article in Cast On magazine on how to do the Ladderback Jacquard, and that was a couple of issues ago. So that now I'm done with Ladderback Jacquard. I just there are ways you can learn it that I have taught. So go ahead and find those. Go ahead, Maggie.
So here's I made a lap blanket out of that yarn that I got from Tim and Ron from my mom.
Oh, how
Very
nice.
So, and I did that folded edge with the picot.
Beautiful.
Isn't that
Gorgeous.
beautiful?
Lovely.
Wow.
Thank you. So we're coming to California.
Oh, great.
Tuesday we're gonna leave. So I hope we come to Bakersfield. That's the plan.
Good.
Because my kids are in Bakersfield. So we'll
We'll be
see.
here waiting for you.
Right.
Are you coming through San Francisco?
No, we're coming through Flagstaff. So
I see.
Well, we'll be here, and we've got
yeah.
lots of new and interesting stuff since the last time you were in, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I hope you'll make it in. Well, I also saw Will last week.
Oh.
He
Oh.
came in to the closing weekend of Steel Magnolias and saw the show. I didn't get to see him afterwards, so I was hoping he'd be here, but I'll get him next time.
He's about an hour away from you, isn't he? He said, I think it's about an hour.
Yes. So they made it in. And that's a lot of fun to see people.
Yeah.
Right.
But he was someone I ambushed with the Phrancko method, like in store. I think one of many unsuspecting customers that I suddenly threw a sweater at. Look at this construction. And it stuck. So working very hard to make Bakersfield the Phrancko capital of California. Amusingly enough.
Could send out flyers saying he's coming to see everyone and sign photographs.
Right.
So Wally's still working on his blanket.
Yes, it's getting warmer.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice day.
Oh, pretty.
This is, so far there's 60 blocks, so I have to bring it up to 97.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And then I gotta decrease it again. So
Oh, boy.
thank God it's for Christmas. I'll have it done then.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I didn't rip out the whole sweater, Frank. I ripped it back and then I restarted it and it's working better now. So
Oh, good.
yeah, so
Do you know what you had to do differently?
I guess my comprehension is not exactly what you would call precise. So,
Point.
so reading things, you have to keep reading them. So this is how I got it so far. So
Oh, wait, hold it.
I'm holding.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. It's
That's
Good.
looking pretty big. Is it?
yeah.
Is it?
Well, this is that V-neck, so you know.
Oh, I see. So the V-neck is probably wider.
Yeah, that's why it's going down.
But that
So.
neck looks really wide. Did you? Is
It's
it?
25 stitches on each shoulder, yeah. So why, you think it's too big?
Did
Put
you
it
try
around
it
your
on?
back. Put it around the back of your neck. No, that looks fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see?
No,
You just said it was closer to the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it was
because it was
close
close.
to the
So,
camera and it looked big.
well, once I connect it, then I'm going to put it on to see how it is. And then
Sure.
if it's wrong, well, we'll rip it out again and make it shorter. So,
Okay.
sometimes you read things and it just doesn't click in your brain.
Right.
Exactly.
And I
I've had to
do have,
reread many
and
things.
I do have a lot of issues with that. So.
I love it when it's a recipe. And you go back and wonder why it didn't turn out. You go back and look at the recipe, go, wow, I didn't even see those two ingredients.
Yeah. Where did they put salt in that?
I think a lot of people in my commute to work have been having that issue with stop signs.
Ah,
Oh,
that's all over, Ron. Every all the new cars do not have signals anymore. They just cut in front of you. And of course, you're not supposed to be using cell phones or anything when you stop. But of course, you know, you're beeping the horn so they move because they're reading.
That younger generation.
Well, drivers are one thing, but in terms of retail customers, I'll take young people any day. They're much nicer on the whole.
I've just been waiting to say that since I got to be old.
Kids these days. The kids are all right.
Frank,
Yes. Yes.
you know, I've been talking about the blankets. I made
Yes.
a picture with my phone. I don't know if it's going to show up or not. I was standing in our lobby shooting up toward the mezzanine. Can you see that?
Hold it up higher.
Oh,
Higher.
there we go.
Oh,
Oh gosh, that's beautiful.
Oh,
Okay,
my.
yeah, look at that.
look for the checked one and you can see what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
That
Now,
is so
that
cool.
went across all the way around the lower part. I did not count the number that they had done, but there were a lot of them, and they packed them up before Thanksgiving and took them to Veterans Hospital, and then a site called Crossroads, and it's for women coming out of prison.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So each one of those was a blanket?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, wow. How nice.
Did
and
you?
did you finish yours?
No.
No, he
Oh.
was going to ask.
I shouldn't have asked.
It will be finished Maybe by Valentine's Day. I'm
There'll
giving
still
myself
be
a
there'll
lot
still
of
be
time.
people that need it.
Yes.
What state do you live in, Mary?
I live in California. I'm at the far end from Frank. I live in the LA area, Los
Uh-huh.
Angeles area.
Uh-huh.
So now we need someone from Reading.
Pennsylvania?
No, Reading,
California.
Oh,
I'm in a town.
I've been to Reading.
yeah. Haven't we all? The
Well, I don't
shopping
know that
there is
everybody has.
unreal.
When
live in
when
a
we did
small
all the
town out from LA called Laverne. And I'm not too far away from Pasadena. And of course, everybody knows where Pasadena is.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Well, I guess everybody does, but
At least I've heard of it. You drive
And
through
in Cal-
Latuna Canyon.
And in California, you sell avocados like 20 for $1.
oh no, I pay as much as you do.
Yeah.
I don't.
Some friends went to California for a wedding, and they said they went to some. He said, "Oh, the avocados were $10, 10 for $1." And then they went down the road, and someone was selling them for 20 for $1. And he said we couldn't believe how cheap
yeah.
they were there.
Hmm.
So,
Sometimes
Probably
you can
had a
go to a
lot to
fruit
do.
and vegetable vendor on the side of the road
yeah.
out in my area.
Probably had a lot to do with that they were fully ready to get picked and out.
Yeah. Up here, it's a sale when it's 99 cents. So.
And then you grow an avocado tree in your yard and you think, this is great. I'm going to have as many avocados as I want, not knowing that you're not going to want that many avocados.
Right.
It's going to fall off your tree and make a big goopy mess. And you'll be begging people, please take
Yeah.
these avocados. What am I going to do with all these avocados? And they like get squishy and plop on the ground.
Yep.
Delicious, but
Yeah.
you have to be careful what you wish for.
It's like fig trees here.
Big trees,
Oh.
yes.
Another thing. Oh yeah.
Olive trees.
Yeah.
The messiest trees you find growing around people's homes. But I'm sure you reach that time of year when everyone knows someone who's begging them to take lemons.
Oh really?
Yeah, please. We have too many lemons. And I'll take them and I'll make preserved lemons, but there's only so many preserved lemons I can go through in a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
What you ought to do is just sneak them in the grocery store and put them on the shelf.
So one of the things we do that we have up right now is our thrifted skein area where we take yarns that people have given us or things we've gotten our hands on. Or closeouts we've had for a very long time, and we mark them down to like thrift store prices. Nothing more than $5, some down like 50 cents. Just here, take it. It's for you. Get it out of my sight. But it's something to do with the yarn, and it's important to us in general to like do what we can to remove some of the economic barriers people have to being able to get nice yarns, and that's one way we do it. But one of the customers today asked us, like, where do you get this stuff? It's very funny because if I ran like a small mom and pop grocery store, no one would come in and say, my great aunt just died, but she had a lot of potatoes. Do you want them? No, I don't want your haunted potatoes. I buy my own potatoes. Like, but with yarn, in they come. In they come. My
I
great
don't know
aunt
what
passed
you've
away.
done with these potatoes.
She had 50 tubs of yarn. Do you want it? And for years, we're just like, what are we going to do with it? No. But now we take it, we go through it, we clean it up, we make sure we see what's good, we sort it out. We thank people very nicely if they lived in a home with a smoker and then put the yarn somewhere else. Just like, was this all like a cream color or these nicotine stains.
Mm.
Everything, clean up what we can, and get it back into the hands of people who want it. But it is a funny thing about the industry that people will call you out of the blue saying someone has passed away. Do you want their stuff? I'm a store. I'm a retail store. Like I'm calling the furniture warehouse. My aunt had an oak dining table and she passed away. Do you want it? No, I sell furniture.
I have plenty.
So it's a funny thing, but we decided to make the best of it. Okay, we'll take it. And we've got a warehouse that we have our regular current yarns in, and it lets us do something to get it back out to people. And I think that's important.
It's hard to throw away something that, is valuable to somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it, that once they hand it off to us, they've given the yarn to a good home, and it doesn't matter what we do with it at that point. They will just not have thrown away their great aunt's things.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Put it in the back.
Its
Well,
brothers are back there.
All of our Afghans that we did, and you saw hanging on the rail, were from folks who brought in yarn from their mom who had passed away, or so on and so forth. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
we do use that. Acrylic.
Yeah. One of my friends passed away a month or so ago, and she was a knitter. And her husband's called me twice already, and he says, "You got to come and get her yarn." And she had a cedar chest full of wool. And whenever she got it, it was $3.50 for wool. So, and today he gave me some more, and I went back there, and it's wool from Virginia. So, so I said, "Man, what am I going to do with all this?" And needles and
Gadgets and things.
oh God. So,
My mother was a quilter, and their saying was, one that dies with the most scraps
Yeah.
wins.
I have a friend that I knit with, and Judy has a whole closet full of fabric. She just keeps making quilts and giving them away.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we have a store here that, well, it's a restaurant. It's a snack bar. And every year he sells turnips. He makes turnips. And the other day my friend went there and came back, and she said, the guy said that they had over 8,000 pounds of turnip that they made out. And
Oh my
everybody
gosh.
was there Wednesday picking up his turnips. He makes
Wow.
turnips. Yeah, 8,000 pounds of turnips they made. So
Good grief.
That's
I know.
amazing.
yeah,
Ooh, I love turnips.
I love
would
a
I
get-
do
turnip. I
too.
was
But
like,
I mean,
Me
no one
too.
wants to
That
make.
much.
Yeah, but I mean, it was so. I was going down there, and they had two cops there holding up traffic because all these people were going in there to buy turnips.
It's the turnip run.
I mean, they are good, but,
Yeah, good for you too.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. After I've salted and buttered it a lot, I might change that.
I think he puts brown sugar and something else in them because they're really
Lord.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
yum.
love a good roasted turnip. Root vegetables,
Turnips, rutabagas, whatever else they call them.
Swede.
Yeah. Because everybody has to make roasted Brussels sprouts for Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
It's the later effects that's not so good.
Yes, I know.
The preceding effects aren't great either. My parents live nearby where the Brussels sprouts come from, and
Ah,
Like if you've ever driven by a cabbage farm or a broccoli farm,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it's the same deal. But just,
Yeah.
I love Brussels sprouts as well, but
Yeah.
stinky.
Hold on a minute.
Maybe I'm hungry again. How did this happen?
Well, on Monday, it will be 4 weeks since we got our new dog. I don't want to say her name because she's sleeping and I don't want her to wake up. But I'd love to show her to you. She's
It's kind of a
cutest
banana
dog.
name, right?
Let's see if I can do this.
Oh,
Oh, look
sweet.
at that.
What a sweet girl.
So
Isn't
cute.
she just adorable?
Yeah.
Tim just caught an adorable orange kitten.
oh,
Oh,
Was wandering out around somewhere on our property and my family's. We live on about 7.5 acres together. I think it was bothering my mother's house. But now it's, oh, great. Another kitten. And
You know what happens with those kittens?
they turn into cats.
Yes, they turn into long living cats.
You have to go to the vet to get them neutered.
That and
Yes.
shots, and if they get
Yeah.
sick,
We live relatively close to a cat hospital. We just took my other 3 cats in one at a time earlier in the year to here, do
Oh.
whatever you do to these things, tune it up.
Yeah.
did you get any of the litter robot? Have you
No.
tried that? It's fabulous. Works lovely.
Yeah, so here I've got some friends who had one. And then I read a terrifying article about some brand that was being sold that like chomps cats.
Oh, Jesus.
oh,
Like,
no.
well, someone
It
can just
doesn't. It doesn't chomp the poo, so I don't know what they used as chomping devices.
I think the cats were just getting like caught in it and like
Ah.
against the mechanism in a brand that was being sold. I won't
That's a
postulate more. But it was of course it was an article written to freak me out about these things because that's what sells. In this case, it's what keeps you looking at news articles so that they get ad revenue. But it worked.
That's been a wonder we've at one time had 3 cats and 2 of the litter boxes,
Yeah.
and it really worked really, really well.
We already have 3
No cats were injured during their use of the toy.
Well, I do have an automatic cleaner though. It's called One of My Housemates.
Right.
But you
Till
have
they
to feed that
refuse.
one.
It's true.
I don't know who cooks, but every time you go out to a restaurant, they're jam-packed, no matter what time you go. No one seems to cook anymore.
Mm.
I mean, I have a friend that his son and his daughter-in-law live here, and he said they don't cook, but he said they do DoorDash even for McDonald's. I said,
Wow.
what?
Costs
said,
more to get it than for the item.
I know. I said, well, apparently she makes a lot of money.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah, because he said they wanted to do DoorDash for pizzas, and he ended up getting 2 pizzas, and they ended up to be $60. I said, what?
Wow.
You
I'm
know.
going to go all out like that. It'll be a steak.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what steaks are around here. You go to a restaurant, $65.
Mm.
stick to turnips.
Yeah. Keep the vegetables going.
So what are the rest of you working on? Anyone?
I make
Anyone?
Look how quiet everybody became.
Just thought we'd talk about knitting a minute.
I'm
I'm doing some bed socks for my dad.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah, nice.
So nearly finished now, but it's his birthday next week. He'll be
Uh-huh.
98 next week.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Yeah.
Lord.
Wow.
God bless him.
Yeah.
We ought to sing happy birthday and you can play this.
Yeah.
Take the BCO.
Yeah. So that's his birthday present.
Nice.
oh,
I finished my ranunculus. I still
Oh.
were not woven in the ends, but I did finally get it off the needles. And so I'll hold it up and show. I like how it turned out. I like the color.
Oh, it's
It's
beautiful.
Oh, nice. Yes.
really good.
Yeah.
Love
Very
it.
And it
nice.
is so squishy soft. And the
Oh.
kids have come over several times, and it's like, who is this for? And so far, I've held fast that it is for me. But yeah, that turned out really
Very
good. It was
nice.
nice. And that was the Anzula Dreamy held with then the Fiber Spades Cumulus. So that was one. So
And
it's
how
very
long can you
nice.
put off weaving in the ends?
Well, I just finished it. Wednesday.
Oh,
And
that's not
then
too bad.
Thursday we spent most of the day cleaning
Yes.
and Wednesday we
Right.
had one of the grandkids that got their wisdom teeth out, so I was
Oh,
making jello and chicken and dumplings and chicken broth and all this kind of good,
Yeah.
doing all the things. So I haven't been knitting as much this week. So yeah, it'll get done. And there's not very many because I wove in as I was doing anytime I had to change. So it's really just the two little ones under the arms and then the bottom and the neck at the top. So I think it's only like 4 things that I have to weave in. And
yes.
then this is I've got that thing sticking in the front. Put it in the back. This is the next one that I'm doing.
Oh,
Here.
is that the
This
feather
is
and
good.
fan pattern?
It is. It's feather
Yeah.
and fan, and it's a little scarf. I had said that one of the daughters wanted to knit, and she just finished her first one yesterday, and so she wanted to do another one, and so she's doing one, and she's like, "Oh, will you do it with me?" So we were like doing a row each of us and doing a row back to work her through. And so she's started on that. So it's really good for Zoom knitting because it's a 4-row repeat. You have your knit a row, purl a row, your pattern row, and then knit a row again. And so it's very good, but it's easy and it's fingering weight yarn, but so it's kind of lacy, but it's on size 6 needles, so it's going fairly
Oh,
quickly.
nice.
Wow.
Because I just cast that one on last night when she was here. I don't know, about 7 or 8 o'clock, so I haven't done it very long. But
And everybody got their power back?
Oh,
yes, they did finally get their power back, and we even had our first frost Thursday morning.
Mm.
We are like a month late. We had not had any frost. But we had our first frost. So I'm glad that maybe the weather might get back to normal. Back to sweater weather.
Yeah.
let's back up to the tip that you slipped in there. If you are one of these people who does not like to weave in a whole lot of threads at the end, it doesn't seem as bad if you do them as you're knitting the sweater. And I did that on the sweater I just showed you all, and it could have had a lot of ends, but I only had 2 ends to weave in when I finished. And I was really pleased because I can put it off for a week or 2.
I
Oh, yeah.
sometimes can't.
Oh, yeah.
The other way that I do it, if I have, I'm going to have several ends and things, as I'm changing yarn, I actually just splice them in. I spun, and so I know how to do splice, and so I do. So it's like it's not, you don't even have to weave it. You just get to where you have 5 or 6 inches, and then with natural wool, you just splice it in together. You know, taper the ends down a little bit and do it in your hands and felt it there together, and then you carry on, and then there's nothing to weave in.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it looks nice. And then it's like when you're done, you're done.
I've forgotten all about that, Cindy. I should have done that on this little wool top I'm doing.
Yeah, it's much easier. I actually did it even on the sock that I did when I was doing intarsia, because I had a whole bunch of, I mean, I cut the pieces thinking this is about how much I'll use, but of course I did not guess correctly. And it was like, okay, I'm short, I need more. And
Yeah.
so I just spliced another piece in.
Yeah.
Ron, what are you measuring? Something on your head.
My head. I know how big my
For how
head
big?
is.
For how big for a hat?
Well, you see, I'm making a hat, and I want a particular thing in a particular place. So I'm seeing what percentage of the circumference of my head is the place where it is, so I can figure out what percentage of my hat's ribbing that would be to put the little thing in the right place.
So,
Let's find
so
out.
you do negative ease for a hat a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So 14 out of 24 and a half. Okay, I can work with that. I mentioned one of the last times I stopped in that I was knitting a little loafer. Here's what that looks like. It's been much longer than a week. But this is what it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
How
cute.
cute.
Yeah.
That's
Very
nice.
cute.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
how the colors go too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so where do you start that?
The sole. You knit the
sole.
sole. You
All the
pick
way.
up around the sole. You pick up around it. Short row shape the heel. And then go around to the side, and then short rows to do the instep.
Very cute.
Yeah.
There
Very
you
That
go.
looks cozy.
It's cute. Yeah.
Okay.
Here, let me.
Is that your pattern?
No. I just posted. It's by someone named Monique Ray. This is the men's loafer pattern. There is also a women's. The difference, I think, being the sizes available.
Oh.
It's 2 patterns, but because I have a big foot.
So it's
Actually, I have 2
garter,
big feet for now, not wood.
garter on the foot.
Yeah.
On the sole. Yeah.
So the construction is
Cute.
straightforward. They look kind of cute.
Yeah.
I'm unwilling to wear an actual sock, but they fit nicely. I think, if I remember correctly. It's been weeks.
Hopefully your feet haven't grown in that time period.
Depends on the time of day, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Whether the diuretics are working.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. See, bleep, what?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
cute. That's
oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah, it's cozy. Although I don't think I can actually wear them in my house and walk around because I've got concrete floors. So I'll just but maybe that's why they're called slippers. I don't think it is. And then this is the hat. I just started the brim. I'm making it inspired by an old Game Boy. So the brim will be gray, and then it'll have 2 little controller buttons in purple
Oh.
Oh, how funny.
right here. And then the monochrome green
Oh,
green in a stranded knit pattern. So
Oh.
I'm making a Game Boy hat.
How fun.
And easing myself back into my knitting life and out of my theatrical life, although I've been asked to show up with my sewing machine tomorrow and help my friend get gowns made for Anastasia.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay, I can sew. Just don't let me run errands.
Aren't we all so talented?
Hmm?
I said, aren't we all so talented?
Skilled.
Yeah, yeah. We take them for granted, and other people can't even pick up a hook and do it.
I maybe next week. So yesterday, while I was waiting for my pozole to cook, um, I was swatching baubles to see how I wanted to do the little controller buttons on the hat, and maybe I'll be able to show it next week. But I think I figured something out that makes a nice little contrast color nub that just looks like it's stuck on there. It's a fairly standard I-cord style bobble, but when I reduce it back down to 2 stitches, I pick up like a lifted increase the original color that it came out of and knit all of that together into the decreases so it goes back down into the height and really pushes that bobble out and tightens it up. So it's a very tight, like bead looking thing.
Not like a switch, it's like an actual button.
Yeah.
Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Tim just waved from behind Ron.
He didn't have anything to share today. I checked. The thing he's made most recently is another amigurumi sheep, but my mother's already taken it.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
We had a class. Tim had a class. I was in space somewhere. People see the little sheep. They love the sheep. In fact, 2 more people came in asking if they could have a private class to make this sheep. People love this amigurumi sheep.
Well, it is a wool shop.
It is.
You know, they would expect sheep there.
Show where the yarn came from.
That's
Watching
exactly it.
knitters talk themselves into doing a crochet project is kind of fun. Come on.
Yeah.
Your needles aren't going to run away. You can crochet something for a minute.
Well, it will help them when they're trying to do underarm pickups, or if they need to stabilize the neckline, or if they want to do steeking. I mean,
Yeah. There's
you know,
so
you
many
can-
important
you can
skills.
argue all those things for crochet.
Well, I can argue anything.
Jenny, is that a map behind you?
it's a map of the world, and the idea is you scratch off the colours where you've been.
Well, I was going to say, I bet you colored in the places you've gone to, and it's
Yeah, so
almost
you-
all done.
No, it's hardly done at all. So you can see the pale colour bits are the bits where we've been, and the brown is everywhere where we haven't been.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
We've got a long way to go. Yeah.
Well, but
So if
you've
you go
been
to a
talking about
country, you
you've been
scratch it
talking
off.
about you're going to come see us, so
Yeah, that'll be a lot.
that would
scratched
color
off.
in another area.
Yeah, that'll be a lot.
You'll have
scratched
to
off,
you'll have to come to each state so you can color a whole bunch of them.
yeah. Yes. I need to put 1 foot in each state, and then that counts as having been there.
Has anyone heard from Judith anything at all? We haven't seen her in a while.
We haven't seen her in quite a while.
I know. I was kind of concerned about her the other day, thinking about it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Judith, if you watch this, we're thinking of you and we miss you.
Mhm.
Just wondering if she said she was going to go somewhere and mentioned it, and then I forgot what it was that she said, but I don't know.
remember
I
that
can't
she
remember.
did.
I just got a notification on my phone that says, "Look back on this memory with Frank Jernigan."
Really?
Huh.
Yeah. What is it?
Something happened that day, this day that you guys were together.
Oh, it's a photo of my mother and a Phrancko.
Oh.
Must have tagged Frank in it.
Mhm.
Cute.
Well, it looks like it's about that time again.
Oh, wow.
As soon
It
as I
is.
finish this row.
God forbid if we don't finish the row.
I know you can't
Can't,
leave
I
5
know.
stitches undone. By the way, I'm just trying out this yarn. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but I might do a sock.
Oh, all right.
So
There you go.
I have this beautiful yarn. I got it at the TKGA retreat, and it's called Mode Knit Yarn.
Hmm.
And the website is modeknityarn.com. It's hand dyed with love in Minnesota. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon.
Hmm.
And it's 100 grams is 400 yards. So I guess that's
wow.
about fingering weight, I think.
Yep, that's fingering weight,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I just thought I'd share that before I leave. But it's been really nice to see you all again, and hope to see you again next week.
Okay.
Yep.
Have a
Hi,
great
everybody.
week,
Nice to see
everyone.
you.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Um,
Bye-bye. Have a nice night.